The name Samuel Langhorne Clemens might not immediately sound familiar when you first hear it, but if one says he's the writer of such acclaimed works as Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, then you know that Clemens is the real name of great author Mark Twain. A man born in Missouri and raised near the Mississippi River might not sound so special, but when that man is one of the most beloved writers of all time, then your first question right after how Twain became the man people love today. Born on November 30th of 1835 in Florida, Missouri, as the sixth of 7 children to a homemaker mother and a lawyer and judge father, Twain was born on a year in which Halley's Comet passed close to Earth. The next time the comet would pass would be another 75 years in 1910, the year Twain died. Sadly, 4 of his siblings all died before Twain turned 30 from diseases and accidents. Due to his father's financial troubles, Twain's family moved numerous times until settling in Hannibal, Missouri, a port town in the Mississippi River. It was these movings and living near the Mississippi that eventually became the basis of one of his frequent themes of his books dealing with travel, especially through the Mississippi. At 11, Twain's father died, and to keep supporting the family, he and his siblings quit their school and went to work. In 1851, 4 years after his father's death, Twain worked on his brother's newspaper where he started writing articles and humorous sketches. By 21, Twain worked to get his license for his lifelong dream of piloting steamboats, which he got 2 years later. It was through this job that Twain received his nickname that would become his pen name due to a nautical term. Sadly, his dream job soon ended once the Civil War began, and he joined soon after the Confederate side, before leaving after 2 weeks. After that, Twain traveled to different areas, including Nevada, to work with his brother, trying and failing as a miner in Virginia City, before writing for one of its newspapers using his new pen name for the first time. And then moving to San Francisco, where in 1865 he found success after publishing a humorous tale in a well-known newspaper. After more and more people started to read his articles, a local newspaper funded a trip for him in 1867 to the Mediterranean. It was there where Twain got his inspiration to write his first book, the travel novel, The Innocents Abroad, which became a huge success once published and kick-started his fame and career as a writer. People love all of the things that Twain wrote, and Twain loved those who read what he wrote. Besides books, Twain would also do live readings and lectures on stage in front of people. Due to these humorous writings, they were an early form of stand-up comedy seen today. Because of his works, he has inspired other writers and artists such as Bob Hope, Tina Fey, and Ernest Hemingway, who once said that American writing comes from him, and there wasn't anything before it. Twain was the first writer to introduce the world to the American language, filled with different dialects and ways of speaking as found in different parts of the United States, especially as one travels down the Mississippi River. He was the first to favor the unused language rather than the older European, mainly British style of writing that other writers in the past used, even past American writers, as well as be one of the first writers after the Civil War to address racial issues and how that could be changed and something done about it. Like many who work hard to achieve success, Mark Twain faced many challenges and obstacles. His family went through many financial troubles that made them move around a lot until landing in Hannibal. Like his father, Twain would also face financial problems due to failed businesses such as his publishing company. Fortunately, he was able to pay most of his debt back before he died by doing more live readings and lectures. Many of his family members died when he was young, including his father, which led him to work and drop out of school. Twain's later life was no exception, as 3 of his 4 children died very young, and one became distant from him, while his wife of 34 years died 6 years before he did. Because of this, Twain in the last few years of his life became bitter and distant, as well as having memory problems and becoming paranoid. However, he was still humorous and kind when in public. It still didn't stop the fact that Twain became one of the most loved men in the world after publishing his travel book and then writing his other novels, that today are considered the most loved and read books ever, such as The Prince and the Pauper and A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. He received great acclaim, won numerous awards for his work, and today his books are read by millions all over the world. Mark Twain, the man who introduced the American language all over the world and changed how America was seen. A steamboat pilot turned Civil War fighter turned writer who loved to entertain and loved those who were entertained by his work. If there was one man that all Americans need to thank for giving them their own identity, it would be him.